Good morning. Welcome to Elisa Marie Designs. I am Elisa Maria. Welcome if you are new. Welcome back if you are back. We are talking about Klimt's painting of Adele Bloch-Bauer. We are doing The Woman in Gold by the Diamond Painting Shop. Not the big one, not the big one by Diamond Dots, though I do have that one and it is coming up sometime after summer with the Masters. I wanted to say, if you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe for more. And the reason why, not just to have you as a subscriber, but to have you as part of this family where we enjoy talking about the canvases that we're doing when it comes to master artists like Klimt and masterpiece paintings like Adele, like Woman in Gold. It is so, I think that people get a little bit standoffish when it comes to art and learning about it. They kind of find it to be, maybe a little bit complicated or a little bit, what do you call it? Bougie. So if you want a fun way to learn about art, I think that this is a fun way to learn about art because you're doing something that you love to do. And it's easy to learn the information. I have learned so much about this artist that I just kind of liked when I began. And now I am so in love with his journey of how he found his niche of using this mosaic effect and this heavy gold leafing and silver leafing. It's I don't know if I'm going to put this in the beginning of this video, but last night, those of you that are my subscribers know that I became a Pluto fan, the station Pluto, from when I got COVID, and I was in because could never sit in bed and just watch television. And so I was watching TV and I became a fan of Pluto. But last night, my husband and I always have on the old Carol Burnett shows. And she was doing a skit of Sunset Boulevard. Now, those of you that are old enough will know this skit and you'll know the movie. And if you're young and you like black and white movies, by all means, watch Sunset Boulevard. It is a classic movie, but Carol Burnett came down the steps, and as she came down, the estate that she's supposed to be in, she comes down the steps, and on the wall is a painting of Judith holding the head of Holofernes, and I'm like, oh, I know that painting, and I know it because of this artist. But what was the second half of, like, someone that designed this set was a Klimt fan, because not only is Judith and the head of Holofernes in this skit, but Carol Burnett was dressed in a heavily jeweled cloak with a choker, and I took pictures of my TV and I'll pop them in. I was like, someone was a Klimt fan. The set designer was a Klimt fan. And so that's what makes these things so fun. And like, you see these little details. And like I said to my husband, that's the painting of Judith holding the head of Holofernes. And he's like, what? So I got to be the intellect for about 2 minutes in this family because he's really smart. He's very intelligent, my husband. I have the common sense. He has the intelligence. So here we are where we are. Oh, so let me just tell you, I did that big introduction about please joining our art family here. The first installment of the Masterclass of Woman in Gold, the portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, was cut short because I was going into the notes that I had that I wanted for the second installment. However, I had about 10 minutes of filming that had to do with placing, finishing her hair, but also I was finishing her hair but placing these jewels in. And so, like, here's the surprise. This and this was not done. So I'm going to put this video in the beginning of the video that was cut short so that you can see this process here of me finishing her hair. I actually sped it up with a little music, which is funny because when I was done, I actually come back on camera and say, I hope I didn't just speed this up and play some music. I hope I was talking about something interesting. I was not. I was finishing this. And then we place these jewels in. And then we will get on with the second part of this masterclass, which is this choker this choker is as famous as the painting, and Adele's jewels. Adele, let me tell you, she was the Elizabeth Taylor of her time with her jewelry. So we'll get into talking about Adele and her jewels and her husband. And then we'll see where, I think I kind of know where the third installment of this masterclass is going to go. So I will see you right after you watch the ending of the first installment, and we'll be back to talk about Adele and her jewels and do some more diamond painting. See you very shortly. But I'm going to finish up the black. That's what I'm going to do. And if I have any notes from the first installment, I'll do a voiceover.
In this crazy life we live, we all need someone to hold, a friend to light the way when the world starts to unfold. Through all the ups and downs, the highs and lows we share, we'll stick together, ride or die, let's show we really care. Through thick and thin, you've been there by my side, a shoulder to lean on when the tears couldn't hide. You're the one who lifts me up when I'm feeling down. With you, my friend, there's no need to wear a frown. Friendship, oh friendship, upon the storms and sunny days, together we'll walk this road, hand in hand, yeah. Friendship, oh friendship, let's make our colors blend. In the silence of the night, or the chaos of the day, you're the one I turn to in every single way. With you, I find solace in the warmth of your embrace. Together we stand strong in this endless race. Friendship, oh friendship, let's make our colors blend.
Okay, so I hope that I was talking about something interesting, and oh, I have an unboxing to do too. I hope I was talking about something interesting and not just, zipping you through with some music, because what we're going to do now is put in these special drills that we have here. Look at how pretty she is, just looking at the top part of her face. Oh, so pretty. I'm pushing in some of them that are, and I'm going to be playing around with the lines here too. Some of them seem like they're a little off to me. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I can actually put them in all the way around, because even though there is some background, I find that this one is a little bit more tailored than the last one, and I'd really like to put these in. You know me, guys, right? More is more is more. So this is you, and that was down below on her dress, so we're not using her. No, this is the black, but yeah, I ran out of these yesterday. They're gone. That's what I was talking about. So, all right, now where are my special drills here? I have F, 6, and G. G is the silvery ones. Let's take that off. What is this, G or 6? G. Oh, they're like, wait, is that upside down? I was like, oh, they're like little mirrors. No, you knucklehead, they're upside down. Oh my God. They could be. Little mirrors would be pretty, wouldn't they? Oh, I love it. I gotta keep looking. G. Because I'll get confused. I have 6 stuck in my head. G. Yeah, we're coming up on almost 49 minutes here. So I am so happy that I am going to be able, I have every confidence that I am going to be able to get this done before summer with the masters, and I really don't have anything coming up. You know, it seems like everything is out of my way already, you know. In my personal life until the middle of June, which I'm just thrilled about. I don't like tweezers, but I don't think that my clippers are big enough. Nope. Are these the right tweezers? No, that's why these are not the right tweezers. My Dreamer Design tweezers are a lot better. Yep. And they're just going to make a liar out of me. Okay. No patience. I was not born with patience, and it's not going to happen here. Here we go. You know, you just try and make it nice. You know, I watch all these girls with their long fingernails all adorned with crystals and stuff, and everything just, it's probably so edited. Who am I kidding? All right. Who has time to edit? I love doing what I do, and I don't want to be bothered with all the other stuff. You know, it's like that in any industry. You're a chef, you want to go in, you want to make the sauce, you don't want to be bothered with the registration book. So you're a doctor, you want to go in, you want to treat your patients, don't want to be bothered with the paperwork. So this is 6, and this is the big blue ones. And I just think that they're going to look stunning next to Adele's black hair. I love it. I love it. They're too big to pick up. They're too big for the stylus. You could do it. Oh gosh, I love this blue. Give me a blue up against a brown any day, and any shade of green. Oh, I love green. There's one here, but I don't want to play with that underneath the washi line. So we got that one in. That's the U. This is the G. This is the 6. We're missing one. Oh, here we are. F. Is F the black? Yeah, F is the black. That one I think is a little chipped. Huh. There are so many jewels. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 28 here. What we put in yesterday were another 20. There's so many jewels. I love the blue. It is spectacular. I'm trying to get everything out of the way here so that I can do a pullback, and you can see, here's my cover, my ruler, stuff everywhere. Now that I'm feeling better and I'm hobbling along on my foot, I'm trying to get things done in my house that have just been going, you know, berserk. So here we are with what we did this morning. I will be finishing this, and I'll make sure that I take a nice snapshot of it in the end. Here's my notes of things to tell you guys and link for you. There's my iPad. And there we have it. Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, #1 in Roman numerals. So today where we are and what we're going to be talking about is this beautiful choker. In fact, I'm just going to take my washi tape and I'm going to carve out the section that we will be working on today. Let's get a few of those special drills in also. And so this is the section that we are going to be working in. We're going to be talking about Adele's beautiful choker given to her by Ferdinand, and we're going to be talking about her hands, and we're going to be placing in those special drills. Okay, so we are back to the beginning. I am going to cut out this section. I did put my washi tape down and take these glasses off because I cannot see with these glasses. I don't know what is going on. I have so many things going on, and trust me when I tell you the glasses are part of what I'm taking care of these days for myself. I'm trying to stay on this line. I didn't place my washi tape too straight. How is everyone? There we go. Okay. What I am going to do is what I said I was going to do yesterday, because I want this portion of the masterclass, of all the masterclasses really, to be a little bit more cohesive and just stick to the facts of the painting. So I am going to paint here. You can watch, and I will be doing a voiceover about Ferdinand, her husband, about Klimt, our painter, about Adele's jewelry, and about this iconic but also historic portrait by Gustav Klimt. What can I tell you about Adele Bloch-Bauer and her jewels? Well, Adele was an Austrian socialite and patron of the arts, and she is most famously known for her portrait by Gustav Klimt. And I get a little emotional even talking about her fate, her life, and this masterpiece by Gustav Klimt, Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, #1. She was a prominent figure in Viennese society and the wife of Ferdinand Bloch-Bauer. And Ferdinand was a wealthy industrious. Adele's marriage to Ferdinand was arranged by her parents, and Ferdinand. Ferdinand was a banker and a sugar manufacturer, and this seems to me to have been an easy arrangement since Adele's older sister had previously been married to Ferdinand's older brother. Ferdinand and Adele married in December 1899. She was 18 and he was 35. The couple had no children, and they both changed their surnames to Bloch-Bauer. So Bloch is Ferdinand's last name, Bauer was Adele's maiden name. And I believe I read somewhere that Marie Altman, who started the restitution case for this portrait to be returned, also changed her name to Bloch-Bauer. I am beginning to put the drills. They are the only AB drills in this canvas. They are pale yellow, and I kind of looked at the tray to see if they were all ABs, or it kind of looked like there was a mix of ABs and maybe some of the drills didn't get that coating. I just saw Foofy tapping me on the arm. Get that coating of that Aurora Borealis effect. After I was done putting these in, I am not sure yet. I'll see where I am. But I think I'm going to take these out, and I think I am going to also do another enhancement here. I just feel like this choker just needs more to it than these yellow Aurora Borealis drills. Coming back to Adele. Adele was, I can only imagine, very well educated, and she was very socially well connected. And she used those connections to bring together writers and politicians, models, painters, intellectuals, people from all backgrounds for regular salons at their home. Now, salons were gatherings of eclectic individuals from all different backgrounds, and they got together at Adele and Ferdinand's home to socialize, what we, I would imagine, call networking, but not just to network and socialize, but also to educate. And when I read that, it reminded me much like this masterclass. And in the beginning of this film, I invited you to subscribe and become part of our salon. I might adopt that word. I love anchoring my love of diamond painting to teaching about the arts. It's a fun way to learn while doing something that you love, and you all add the flavor to this recipe. Different perspectives and cultures and backgrounds come together here as you view this masterclass, and it expands the teaching for all of us to enjoy. So I am inviting you again to subscribe for more of this content and to join in with your comments and add to the discussion. As a couple, Ferdinand and Adele shared a love of art, and they patronized several artists, collecting primarily 19th century Viennese paintings and modern sculpture. It is said that Ferdinand had a passion for neoclassical porcelain, and by 1934 his collection was over 400 pieces and one of the finest in the world. Adele was not only socially well connected, she was renowned for her elegance and her love of jewelry. I joked earlier that this was our very own Elizabeth Taylor here. She had a collection that included an array of exquisite pieces that reflected her refined taste and also reflected the wealth of her family. Some of her most famous jewels were depicted in Klimt's portraits. This choker that she's wearing is also the choker that you see in Judith and the Head of Holofernes. And the jewels added to the allure and the historical significance. So I believe the jewels, I'm almost curious. I mean, we really don't know much other than what we can derive from Klimt's paintings, but Adele is seated in a chair here. She's not standing. And Klimt put that wonderful mosaic effect in the background. And I'm wondering if this dress that she is wearing, her shoulders almost bare, and I really find that a little risque too. I wonder if she really posed with the top of her shoulders exposed like that in the early 19th century. But the choker and the jewels on the gown, was the gown also encrusted with jewels, or was this Klimt's way of symbolizing her wealth and the beauty and the reflection of Adele, of her being so refined and so elegant, and of course, also paying homage to her love of jewelry. The choker that Adele is wearing is as famous as the portrait. It was gifted to her as a wedding present by Ferdinand. When Adele died in 1925, I believe that she was in her 40s, early 40s, and she died of complications from meningitis. She had a will that stated that the artworks by Klimt be eventually left to the Gallery Belvedere, although these works belonged to Ferdinand and not her. So in reading up about that, that she eventually wanted the portraits to go to the Gallery Belvedere, this seems to be a little sticky to me looking at it today in 2024, because they were married. But I am not up to date on what division of property looked like for a married couple in the 1900s. But I think that she was saying maybe if she died first, that he would leave the works to the Gallery Belvedere, or if he died first, that's eventually what she wanted where she wanted the painting to go. However, following the invasion of Austria by Nazi Germany, and due to the Nazi persecution of Jews, Ferdinand had fled Vienna, and he made his way to Switzerland, leaving much of his wealth behind, including his large art collection. This painting was stolen by the Nazis in 1941, along with the remainder of Ferdinand's assets, after a false charge of tax evasion was made against him. The lawyer acting on behalf of the German state gave the portrait to the Gallery Belvedere, claiming that they were following the wishes of Adele, the wishes that she had made in her will. Her jewels were also confiscated, along with I'm sure, Ferdinand's porcelain collection and the paintings around their estate. Her jewels were confiscated, and many pieces disappeared or were sold off during the Nazi era. Ferdinand died in 1945, and his will stated that his estate should go to his nephew and 2 nieces. I did come across one photograph of one of the Nazi officers' girlfriends wearing the choker. I'm not sure where I saw that at. I didn't take a snapshot of it. Like I said, this has been an emotional effect over me with, I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where something has been stolen from you. I certainly had someone distract me while I was working, And while he was distracting me away from the counter, someone else went behind the counter, stole my handbag. I lost all my belongings that were inside. They carelessly, threw away the bag. They emptied out the contents of my wallet. They destroyed things that were in there. And it's such a sickening feeling to have things that only mean something to you, that can't be replaced, not only be stolen, but to have someone else's hands on them when they had no permission. My aunt also walked into her home, and she had an entryway, and the entryway door was locked, and she thought, why is it locked? Did I mistakenly turn the little latch when I walked out the door? But she had a stained glass on her entryway, and she saw people in her living room and making their way out the back door, out through her yard. And when she finally got into the home, called the police, got into the home, all her jewelry from her homeland that she brought with her as a little girl when she immigrated to this country, and had with her and her mother and her grandmother, my grandmother and great grandmother's jewelry. It's gone. It is such a sickening feeling. So to know that someone had this choker on, and was wearing it, and there's plenty of movies where you can, it's usually revealed that maybe someone has committed war crimes and has jewelry in locked boxes. There is still a hunt for missing pieces of artwork. I believe that there's estimated at around 650,000 pieces that were looted by the Nazis going through Europe, of just paintings from renowned artists. So in 1998, the Austrian investigative journalist Hubertus Zernin established that the Gallery Belvedere contained several works of stolen art from Jewish owners from the war, and that the gallery had refused to return the art to their original owners, or to even acknowledge that a theft had taken place. And here's where I get confused. I'm not really sure. It is stated here from the journalist that Marie Altman was one of Ferdinand's nieces, not Adele's. And that Marie Altman had hired the lawyer E. Randall Schonenberg to make a claim against the Gallery Belvedere for the return of 5 works by Klimt. In 2006, after a 7-year legal claim, which included a hearing in front of the Supreme Court of the United States, an arbitration committee in Vienna agreed that the painting and others had been stolen from the family, and that it should be returned to Altman. When Marie Altman had the painting returned to her, she sold it the same year for $135 million. At that time, it was a record price for a painting, and it was sold to businessman and art collector Ronald Lauder to place the work in the new gallery in New York, which he co-founded. I am unclear as to whether Marie Altman only received this painting of Klimt's, or if she received all the paintings, the other 5 paintings of Klimt's, returned to her. We know that this is her aunt, and so maybe that was the only one that was returned to her, because there was, physical evidence. The portrait is of her aunt. I'm not sure about the other 5, and I'm sure it was a great loss also for the Gallery Belvedere, that because they have the largest collection of Klimt paintings But it is in New York City, and I am wanting to take a ride back to my stomping grounds. I had a business, a few of them in New York, and I will be putting the No Gallery on my list. I am finishing up around the choker here, and then I did venture a little further after, as evidenced by the beginning of this video. But getting back to the choker, I know that the choker has never been, found, but there was a ring that was auctioned off at Christie's that belonged to Adele. I will pop a picture up, and it was auctioned off. I didn't find out too much about the auction, but it's a stunning ring, and just looking at this choker and the ring, yes, Adele had very refined and elegant taste. And in recent years, there's been a significant effort to recover and return stolen art and valuables to their rightful owners and heirs. As I said in the first masterclass, this restitution effort was dramatized in a movie called Woman in Gold, which tells the story of Maria Altman and her legal battle to reclaim her family's art. Adele's portrait is not just a masterpiece of Klimt's, but for me it also symbolizes this complex history of art and of cultural identity and of course, the restitution. I was reading this morning about, how many pieces were really looted during World War II, and that's where I found the figure of 650,000. And I found that information on a website, which I will link if you have an interest, on lost artwork that is still lost, and some that has been found very recently. And this was an organization called the Monument Men at the time after the war. It is now called the Monument Men and Women. And they have a tip line. And there's also another film by George Clooney. And I don't know if it's on this site or maybe it's just a clip. But there was a clip of a tip of a famous artwork. I believe it's one of the most famous artworks in the world that was looted by the Nazis. It's a portrait of a young man by Raphael. And it was a tip, and it was a gentleman who was selling guns or weapons, and he was taken down into a cellar. They were doing like this exchange. I forget what country they were in. I saw this very quickly this morning, but I will link it. And there was a little boy in the cellar with him, and behind this red curtain, he happened to take a peek, and he claims that this is Raphael's famous work of art, and that the little boy had exclaimed that, "Oh, he must be very cold because he has a hot water bottle on his head," but actually it was the ornamentation that he had on his head, and it did look like a hot water bottle. And so as they were going through the town to try, and he had seen this painting like 40 years ago. Is it still there? Who knows? I mean, people leave things in their basements for years and years and years and years and years, and they're trying to find out if it's still there. And it was just a little mini clip. I think you could have seen the rest of the story maybe right here on YouTube. I'm not sure, but I love, what is that show with the what's it called? I remember the Antique Road Show, where the antiques go on the road, and you get to bring your belongings to the the professionals, and they will tell you if anything is worth any money. And so I will tell you one story that I know for sure, and I will tell you this story from Antique Roadshow, because I swear every time I just have tears rolling down my eyes. So this woman has this helmet that I believe her grandfather had said, it's in the basement. It's always in the basement, right? And so she finds it when he passes away, and they clean out the house, and she had remembered vague stories again about the war, right? And so she sees this helmet, and she cleans it with Fantastic. She gives it to her son. He's wearing it while he's on his big wheel up and down the street. This little gladiator. And I don't even know, when this woman cleaned this helmet, how she didn't see that the jewels were like sapphires and emeralds and rubies. And the woman looks faint when they actually tell her what this helmet is. It's like a gladiator helmet. I believe it belonged to France, French army. And and she's like, my kid has been wearing this on his big wheel going up and down the street. I cleaned it with Fantastic. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? And my dad worked at the Federal Reserve Bank in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia was a big import-export down along our waterfront. And he worked with a gentleman who wanted to get a piece of jewelry for his wife for their anniversary. And we have a very beautiful street here of antiques down along Pine Street and Spruce Street. They're known for their antique dealers. And he walked in, he picks up a beautiful locket, and he gifts it to his wife for their anniversary. And she's always saying that she hears something inside this heart locket. And she's shaking it, and she hears stuff inside of it. And I guess, I don't know that I would have done the same if my husband gave me a gold locket with a heart locket. But I guess it was just driving her crazy. And there was, it was hinged, but it was very old. I mean, it was an antique. I don't know why she just didn't take it back to the antique shop and say, can you open this up for me? Can you see what's inside? I hear something. But she managed to pry this open, and she found the inscription to Josephine from Napoleon. And inside were little gemstones of hearts and parts of diamonds and emeralds. And they did contact France, and they did fly them out there, and they did pay them a huge amount of money, millions, for that piece to be a part of their gallery, their museum. This piece of jewelry from Napoleon to Josephine, sitting right here in Philadelphia on Pine Street. So, getting back to the Monument Men, there is most definitely a tip line. If you should happen to you see something and you think maybe, just maybe, nothing is, what did they say? Life is stranger than fiction. I'm sure the gentleman that my father worked with at the Federal Reserve Bank had no idea when he picked up this heart that it would be a piece of French history, and they would be flown out to France, and it would be verified and sold to the museum. But I found it, I was on the Monument Men website very, very briefly. There were other links that I did have also that I didn't get a chance to explore, and I don't know how much more I'm going to get into when it comes into this installment for the Masterclass. But I did find the jewelry fascinating, and the story of the choker. And Klimt, of course, was enamored with it because he used Judith's face for Judith in the head of Holofernes. He used Adele's face and he altered it to Judith in the head of Holofernes, but she has the choker on. And there is something very interesting too about that painting. They knew that it was Adele, and I would imagine traditionalists at the time named that the word that they used was colquildry, I believe. Colquildry was the word, and that meant that Ferdinand was married to an adulterous wife, but not that she was an adulteress behind his back, but he knew about it. So there's another name for a woman who's married to an adulterous man, but she knows that he is cheating on her. And the name for that was given to Ferdinand was, I believe, I'll get it right, and I'll text it up top here, but that was the name given to him after that portrait came out, because it was deemed pornographic. But that you are married to an adulterous woman and you know it. Now, whether that's true or not, who knows? They were patrons of the arts, and maybe he was flattered that in Klimt's eye he saw Judith, and he saw her as this. I mean, the portrait is not the one that you saw in the beginning from Carol Burnett. For sure, it wasn't this diminutive Jewish woman. It was a Jewish woman that was very strong and very proud. And, the fact that, she is bare-breasted, covered so slightly with a robe, doesn't offend me at all. Most nudity doesn't, but who knows? Maybe Ferdinand was just thrilled with that depiction of his wife and with his choker on that he gave her. They said that she had an affair with Klimt. Who knows? Maybe he just admired her, and maybe she just admired him. And who knows? Maybe, this arranged marriage came with an open-ended marriage. Who knows? Here's my take on that. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors, and it's no one's business. I wish everyone would just stop telling everyone else what to do and how to live. So I am not even paying attention to what I'm doing here. I hope I'm not talking. Oh, here I am. I'm talking. No, I still was on silent mode here, and what I am showing you is just for that choker and that small section that I completed here, that these were all the colors that were used, and I did find a replacement for that red that was missing. I had some extras upstairs in my art room, and being that most of the colors are out of the container, out of my storage unit, I cleaned out my storage unit. Now that little that's a piece of glass plus, and I've used it a few times. That's why I was spritzing it with water in the beginning, and you'll see I'm wiping off all those jewels, and I am picking up pieces of wax that were left behind. So I love that little tip there, using my glass plus, and I'm just wiping down her face and her décolleté. And I didn't stop there. I think I took a rest after this, but I got right back into it. And so there you have it. That is the story of Adele, of Klimt's portrait that was seized by the Nazis along with her jewelry. I will, at the end, put that ring up that Christie's auctioned off that belonged to Adele. I wonder how they got that back, or if it was just maybe not stolen. But I also will put the links up to the monument men and women that are doing incredible work. I did a very brief overview of it this morning. Like I said, these canvases and learning about Adele and her personal life and her husband, and learning about Klimt, learning about what happened during the war, World War II, and what happened to their estate and their belongings, and how things were looted and confiscated and never returned, and the court battle, you know, so much. You just keep going down this rabbit hole, and I wanted to know, well, how much artwork was really stolen from Europe, and, you know, this astronomical number, and how many paintings they're still looking to find. And a few of our presidents were also very much involved in the monument men and women and the work that they do, and the recent paintings that they're still finding. I just find it fascinating, and so I will link that for you. I know that there was a quote by George Bush that I saw. There was a quote from Barack Obama on the work that they do, and of course there was George Clooney, who made a movie or a little documentary that I will, if it's on YouTube, will most certainly link it if you have any interest in the works that were stolen out of Europe, and the attempts to get it back. And I also find it fascinating the jewelry and the artwork that was already recovered. So I will see you in the next one. It is Memorial Day weekend, so I am having company on Sunday and Monday. So I will see you again next week, and I will see you for Self-Care Sunday. I ditched the Self-Care Sunday from last week because, I mean, I'm diamond painting an area that's long gone, long gone. And I really should give you a final view of Adele. So I'm working with a new tripod here, and it's huge. It's really big, but it's going to be easier for me to videotape and get some really good shots and get better lighting. Here is Adele. Let's hold her up. Choker. And as I was saying in the voiceover, I really do think that choker kind of gets lost in the mosaic background, much like the chair. You wouldn't know that she was sitting in a chair, but that halo around her head is the high back chair that she is sitting in. But, you know, Klimt loved his mosaics, and it's kind of getting blended in the background. And I would imagine that she was sitting in her estate, and that is what this, you know, baseboard is here. I'm really looking forward to getting into this part of her dress, because that's where the enhancements are. A lot of the enhancements are that it was just one. I only did one enhancement, which was a topaz color with a gold glitter on top. So there we have our beautiful Adele. And this, you know, beautiful artwork from Klimt that documents her life and the history here. What a fascinating woman, and a beautiful painting. And I have just so much appreciation for it, and for her, and for her family who fought to get this painting back. So I will be seeing you in the next one, which will be Self-Care Sunday. And I think what I'm going to be talking about is going to be something totally different than what I usually talk about, but it's going to be more about creating that day that I'm always telling you guys to do. You know, create that world that you want to live in, and that begins with creating each day, one day at a time, and then before you know it, you have your own little universe that you enjoy being in, because I know I do, and I enjoy being here with you, and I hope that you do too. And if you, again, love this type of content, please subscribe, because I love doing this type of content and I love sharing it with you. I will see you in the next one. Ciao. Bye.